Good morning. Good morning. Happy fucking Wednesday, everybody. Happy fucking Wednesday. I'm going to give you a minute to grab your coffees and join us for some fun. It's WTF Wednesday. I feel like we're getting into the extra tired edition. Please say hello in the comments as you join us this morning. If you're catching this video later and not live, would also still love to hear from you. Thank you for popping by to have a coffee with us this morning. I'm just going to sit here and breathe and drink my coffee while I wait for you. Oh, yeah. How's your day? I'm looking forward to connecting. We're going to give you another minute and we will get started. And that's what I know. WTF morning. Hey, Rhett. As you join, please say hi. We will get underway in about 30 seconds or so. Happy fucking Wednesday, my friends. It is WTF day. This is your warning in advance because I've already dropped a couple F-bombs. Today's the sweary day. Today's the day where we get a little unleashed. So if you're checking us out for the very, very first time, which we have new people connecting with us every day, if you're sensitive to swearing, maybe today's not the day to stay. I hope you will regardless, but just giving you the option. We're feeling good. How's Rhett today? Anything new and exciting? You're like killing it on TikTok and your podcast. I haven't had a chance to listen to a whole episode yet, and I apologize for that. But I will. But I'm excited with how many shows you've done. That's so cool. Jim says, I'm delaying my trip to the gym to make coffee club. Greetings from Buffalo and 4 inches of snow. Well, there's a what the fuck, Jim. I think our weather has given us a couple of WTF moments over the last little bit. Podcasting is hard as fuck. It can be. It can be, my friend. Call me about it. So, yes. Welcome to WTF Wednesday, my friends. This is another edition of What the Fuck is Happening in Our World. This is our day where we allow our humanness to fly free. That means normally, right? I'm of the philosophy that if something's pissing you off or something's making you mad or something isn't working right, as citizens of society, we have to step up and help find solutions in instances when we can. That is normally my philosophy. Today on Wednesday, though, we don't have to come up with solutions. Our humanness flies free because we just need a day where we can vent, where we can let it out, where we can yell and scream, where we can talk about the things that make us feel crazy and get it off our chests. Doesn't mean it's how we feel all the time. Doesn't mean we don't want to be a part of a solution in the future things. It just means for a fucking minute, we're tired. And I really this morning, I usually converse with a friend for a little bit before WTF Wednesdays, because I'm just like checking in, like, what are you pissed off about? And what am I pissed off about? And I always feel, I'm going to be honest with you here, I have like usually a list. Okay, this list of things that I'm like, what the fuck? And I start talking about them, and then I feel a little bit concerned that I'm going to come across like I'm an asshole. And so the disclaimer is here is that today we can kind of just be assholes, and that's okay. We can be douchebags, we can be twat waffles, we can be whatever word you want to call it today. We can be that just for a second, and it doesn't mean that we're not trying to be a part of the greater good of our world. It just means like anybody else, just fucking done with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am someone who just continually finds the good of the world. And I have not stopped that. But there have been moments over this week where I have went, I just don't fucking know anymore. Has anybody else felt that way? Anybody else feeling in that boat? What's on your mind today? What are you feeling? Good morning, Pam. Good morning, Nadine. Amanda shares, I showed up at 2 appointments yesterday when they're both today. What the fuck? I miss live in-person events. God, our brains are so full, and we're being inundated with shit so much that it's like, how do we even breathe anymore? How do we even breathe anymore? Jim says, what the fuck's happening in Ontario? More cases than ever. Stay at home order for the next 4 weeks. Border closed until May 21st. I know. And it's just, is that really working? Okay, so one of the things that's pissing me off today, and there's a lot of things, but I think the biggest piece with all of this is the word transparency. Okay. And I think this is a big piece of why we continue to ride this roller coaster of being so unsure what the fuck we're supposed to do in the world. And I understand from a disaster recovery management role of a previous life, I understand all of the moving parts. And I appreciate that there are a lot of moving parts to this entire pandemic. I 100%. I am not debating that there are a lot of moving parts. I am not debating the virus. I'm not debating the vaccine or the shot. I mean, we could debate what that really is there, but I am not a medical expert. I'm not debating those things. What I do want to point out is that transparency is key. And when you lack transparency, and it doesn't matter if you're a government person, if you're someone in your business, if it's you as a fucking human, transparency is key to building relationship and trust. And it's not always easy because we are all humans, and we're humans driving humans, trying to survive. Okay. And we all make mistakes in that. We aren't always as transparent as we would like to be. The piece with this I'm finding so difficult is that it just keeps shifting and changing. And that's what creates those seeds of doubt that start to fester and grow. Are you with me on this? So one example of one that I'm just like, okay, what the fuck's happening with this is when they brought out, and again, I understand that we learn as we go and we're going to gain knowledge as we progress through this. But it's also a little bit fucking weird. So when the shot, I'm going to call it the shot. And the reason I call it the shot versus the vaccine, in my uneducated, completely opinionated mind, in what I've read, is that vaccines prevent a virus. And I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me. Shots help lessen symptoms. Okay, we've got a COVID shot here. Okay, and yeah. What feels confusing for people, and I don't think I'm the only one in this because I've seen 1,001 posts on social media about it, is when they brought out the AstraZeneca shot. They said, it's good for people over 55. It's this, it's this, it's this. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, well, you know what? It's actually going to be the free-for-all one. We're going to give it to everybody. Now, if you're over 40, give her. What changed there? What changed there? Have they ever told us that? Are we not privy to that information? At the end of the day, it's our body, our choice. We should get to choose what goes inside it. Okay. Do I want to protect myself the best that I can to be the healthiest version of me? 100 fucking percent I do. Okay, that's always been the goal. But why if we're being driven by health professionals, and again, I love our healthcare teams. I love the people that are working those front lines. You are doing so much work. I appreciate you. But if we are being driven by healthcare professionals, why aren't we hearing anything else about what we can do to protect our health? Friends, there is foods that you can eat. There is exercise you can do. There is mindful activities that you can that we could be doing to help build our immune systems, to help build our resilience, to help build good health. Why aren't we hearing about any of this stuff? Is the shot the only solution? For some people, it's not. So what can we do to help that? Where's the transparency in that? And just if that version, the AstraZeneca version, is now okay for all age groups, what changed? Just tell me. Give me the research. Give me the document. Give me the information so I can be like, oh, I'm so glad you learned this through here because I want more people to do that. Instead, it leaves this confusion of like, is that safe? Should I? What does that look like? And then, my friends, the piece that really stuck it that I thought was just like, what the fuck, is then we get a graphic put out to us that like, well, you don't really have to worry about the percentage of blood clots that are associated as a side effect to this shot because birth control gives you this higher percentage of blood clot possibilities. I'm sorry, birth control? One, the majority, like, I don't know what the percentage of male to female is in our world, but I'm just going to ballpark 50%. Okay. 50% of the people you are trying to communicate to, you've just lost because they're never going to take birth control. And that's just men. That's not even including women who wouldn't take it, haven't taken it, don't take it, are unsure to take it. That. Okay, as a woman who started as a young woman using birth control, I don't remember anybody ever giving me the conversation that I was increasing my risk of getting blood clots by taking this medication. Like, what? If we're going to compare apples to apples, I don't know how a COVID shot and birth control are the same apples. Okay, that was a weird comparison to me. You lost me on that one. And is that just we're trying to convince the women of the world to take control of this? I don't know. That seemed really weird. Maybe there's a valid reason behind that explanation that I don't understand because I am not a medical professional, but you're supposed to be communicating with us as regular human citizens that need to understand the information. So don't talk to us like we would only understand it if we were a medical professional. You're losing me. You're losing me. Okay, and then the next graphic in that is showing you, okay, smoking, I get, again, okay? And then they show us that the actual side effect of the virus itself gives a higher percentage of possibilities of blood clots. Where was that news previous to? Did you ever hear about that before? And the thing is I don't understand where we're losing that. And we're losing that in the translation through the media? Are we losing that in people unsure how to communicate? I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things. Again, I don't understand all of it. I'm researching so that I can make the best decision for myself, but it just seems really fucking crazy and really strange and really weird. And it's just part of the issue of not figuring it out. And then now we have these pockets of things that are happening in different provinces across Canada. I think the states, I don't know, Jim, the states kind of just did their own thing, good, bad, or otherwise. But then it's like, okay, what's happening in Ontario? Jim brought it up before. is like this lockdown stay-at-home order, and they're starting to really go this way in BC, and they're starting to really want to stop interprovincial travel, and now, of course, travel within our own country, and they're really wanting to slow that down. But where where's the proof or the numbers or the justification of why that's the solution? And I mean, if you're going to just try some shit, own that a little bit. I don't know. But it seems really like I think it's this continual contradiction that we just don't understand. So then it's really hard to wrap your brain around it. And at the end of the day, a confused brain says no. And then we have a few confused brains that are just like, whatever you say, I'll do it. But if in one breath, what I just don't understand, and it makes me is like, get outside, get fresh air. It's part of your mental health. Now you got to stay home inside your house and don't leave. There's the contradiction. Why is that? I don't understand this whole process. And I think we're just getting to a place where we're tired. But if it's an airborne, not if it's obviously, it's an airborne virus. Should our mindset not sort of switch to, we're going to get COVID, not if, when. We're going to get it. So how do we increase our health, work on boosting our immunity? When we do get it, how do we fight through that? Is there medications to take? Do we need more vitamin D? Should we be stocking up on some herbal supplements? Does fucking orange juice help? I don't know. Nobody's talking like if we get COVID, because when we get COVID, how are we doing the best things to protect ourselves and help ourselves get better? There was always like, okay, the common cold, like, I don't remember. It was like, I don't remember the saying, so I'm going to get it wrong, but you probably remember this. It was like, starve a cold, feed the flu, or feed a cold and starve. Like, you know, that saying where it was like, one, you would want to give fluids, one, you would want, like, what's the scenario with COVID? Right? Like, we're going to get it. So how do we manage when we get it? Instead of this, you know, stay in your house, do all of these things. Don't you dare spread it to somebody because you're a fucking murderer. And I know that I'm being extreme when I say that, but that's how it feels sometimes with how people are shaming people. And that's the part that scares me the most, is because how are we managing how that feels? Like, you're probably going to get it. You're probably going to give it to somebody else. You're probably going to be a part of that. That's life. So how do we manage that, friends? How do we not go into a shame spiral? How do we not COVID shame somebody? How do we take better care of ourselves? How do we take care of ourselves when we're sick? What are all of those things? Nobody's telling us that. Is that not weird? And now it's just because there's so much contradictory information. If you Google, how do I help myself with COVID? Like, who knows what kind of weird rabbit hole you get down. So where are my doctors at with what do we do? Do we feed COVID? Do we give fluids to COVID? Do we starve COVID? Is there anything else in the world we could talk about besides fucking COVID? Are you with me on this, or am I totally crazy today? It was just a couple of things. And then yesterday, like, it's part of this weird thing. Like, I don't know if you saw this video that has started to go viral out of Ontario. And I had a friend bring it up to my attention this morning. And so in Ontario, with their stay-at-home order, the government said the police needed to enforce the stay-at-home order, where if you were driving somewhere, walking somewhere, they gave police the authority to stop you, to question you, to ticket you for these scenarios. Okay. Most of the police in Ontario, with the exception of the OPP, stood up and said, we are not going to enforce this. I watched a Twitter feed where it had story after story after story of the different police departments throughout the province of Ontario that said, we are not enforcing this. We want to focus on serving and protecting our community, not enforcing this rule. The OPP were the only ones who said they would carry on with that. Fine, dandy, whatever. The video that came out yesterday is they decided to question a 12-year-old boy who was riding his scooter through the skate park. On the video, you can hear them having a confrontation, and you see the cop push the child onto the ground. This is not okay. This is a perfect example of how fucked up everything is getting, because I'm sorry, like, you can have your opinion on police forces, but people don't join the police department so that they can abuse children. This is not who they are. And brush stroking that, it's not helping. The police are trying to, most of them. Again, I am not a police officer. I am not in the police force. I don't manage police. I am an uneducated opinion voicing girl when I say this. But my understanding is they're working really hard to build better relations and fix the image and fix the brokenness that's been inside that organization when it comes to different forms of aggression and in turn racism. I mean, that verdict came down yesterday in the United States, and that cop was found guilty on all counts in the murder of George Floyd. Thank you, Justice. They're working on that. And then as a government, you're going to ask your police force to enforce, like, where is this a good idea? Where is that working? Where is that where we're building? Like, you guys, we need, and people talked about it before. Like, I'm not going to go into the whole defund the police thing conversation that I had before, because I don't know enough about it. But I know that if we lived in a world without any rules, authority, people holding us accountable, some sort of, and like, it would be fucking chaos. Could you imagine? It'd just be a free-for-all everywhere. Like, we require that bit of structure. We're just humanly built that way. But how do we, like, I think at the end of the day, and I said I wasn't going to come up with solutions, but at the end of the day, it's communication and it's kindness. I don't know. What's bothering you today? What's on your mind? I know I've rambled like for almost our whole time, and I want to give you a moment to share yours. The other thing that I had written down on my list, I told you I write a list for What the Fuck Wednesday, is why in a world where, okay, I'm not going to debate with you whether, like, because some people are either for multi-level marketing companies or you're not, okay? I think personally, multi-level marketing companies are brilliant. They're an extremely great marketing plan. They're a great way to have leverage of time and money. They give so many people the opportunity to have a side hustle to help pay their fucking bills. Okay. I love that. The thing that pissed me off this week is there's so many people that post these vague fucking posts. If you want to tell me that you're eating some great vitamin that's changed your whole life, tell me about the fucking vitamin. Don't make it so vague and weird. And then people are like, oh, what are you talking about? What's this? And you're like, I DM'd you. I DM'd you. I DM'd you. If we can't talk about it publicly, what are you doing? Now, being part of one, I understand that there's rules with the kinds of posts that you can do, and there's rules with different pieces, and I can appreciate that. But if you can't do a post that fits into your rules, that makes any fucking sense, please don't post it, because you just seem like a weirdo. You just seem like a weirdo. And I don't want to think you of a weirdo. I want to support. Like, I get excited when I have a friend who starts any kind of company, multi-level marketing, storefront, online. I don't care. I want to support you. I want to be a part of your business. I want to buy shit from you. I want to share one of your posts so that other people can see what you're doing. I want you to succeed. But if you're like, oh, hey, boy, do I feel good after having some of that spoonful of something. And then, yeah, like I lost like 40 pounds. What the fuck? What are you doing? Like, tell me about it or don't tell me about it. Don't be weird and vaguey. Don't make it vague book. It's Facebook. Or if you're like, hey, I have this really cool thing that I'm doing. I'm not allowed to post about it publicly because of said guideline. I would really like to share it. Will anybody let me send them an email or give them a phone call? Can we do that? Can we just be fucking normal? Because, like, I want you to succeed. I want you to have that business. The more people we have with side hustles and more businesses, and the more people that can succeed in this world doing what they're passionate about or sharing products that they love so much that they want to recommend them to all their friends, that's awesome, you guys. That's awesome. But don't be a weirdo about it, because then you make people think that you're up to something sketch, and then you ruin it for everybody else. Am I crazy on that? And the one last thing, and then I'm going to go to your comments. So if there's something that's making you crazy today, please put it in the comments right now. Or if you want to correct me on something or tell me I'm off kilter, by all means, put it in the comments right now. I'm coming to you. The other thing that made me go like, the local pool in my town has finally reopened. If you would like to go swimming with your family, you have to book it for a private pool party for $95 an hour. I said, what? $95 an hour. You can have up to 10 people, it says on the poster. I appreciate that we are going to acknowledge the people with big families. Good, 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 good. What if you're a family of two? Is it still $95? $95. Now, I appreciate that municipalities have money to make after something being closed and taxes and all of that stuff. I 100% get it. But could we have had maybe a month where people still had to book it? Let's keep it private. Let's keep it safe. Yeah. I'm all on board for whatever protocol truly keeps you safe. But could we had it free for a month just to get people back into the pool, just to get people excited about that rec center in that community, just to get people feeling like their government in that town supports them and they can build that relationship because it's getting taxed? Double entendre on that word. I don't, just for a month. And then, you know what, put the price into effect. As citizens, like, we want that pool. We want it to keep going. We want to help pay for it. Like, you're taking tax dollars for it already. We want to be a part of it. But could we have some fucking fun for just 5 minutes? Because we've had an entire year and a bit where all of that was taken away from us. I don't know what's happening in your community with your facilities, but if that is the case, I would love to see maybe people could do some fundraising. Maybe, I mean, it's been a hard year for businesses too, but if you've had a business that, I said I wasn't going to build solutions. I can't not build solutions, friend. But if you've had a business that has done well or stayed maintained or is doing okay through COVID, could you buy a few hours and donate it to families in need in our community? Because $95 is a lot. There was people who couldn't afford the $5 to go before. It's a little bit crazy. Can I say that? It's a little bit crazy. And I get there are things that need to be fixed, and we all are having big losses because of COVID. I get it. I'm with you. But cut people a break. Tara says, do you think that after COVID, people will start hugging and kissing again naturally, or will it be weird? Am I going to be the freak going around begging for contact? I think there's going to be people in this world who won't want to have touching. And a lot of them were the people who didn't really love it in the first place. Like, I have a good friend. She hates hugs, hates them. I have no idea how we're friends. Sometimes, like pre-COVID, she would give me permission to hug her once in a while. But she hates it. There's people out there that don't like it. I think there'll be people that won't, and there'll be people that will. I don't know if people are going to ask people for a vaccination shot verification before they make out. I have no idea. Maybe we have to now carry cards where we confirm Do we have any viruses, diseases? Whatever. That's my 2 cents today, friends. I've went on way too long. I've went so rambly today. I hope that that was okay for you. Please feel free to post a comment, to share some conversation, to, um, if you know things that are good for immune system, if you know things that can help us, like, you know what, guys, vitamin D is so important. We don't get enough, especially in Canada, from sunshine alone. Please take some vitamin D. Look at your vitamins, talk with your doctor, figure out ways that help build your immunity in natural ways as well as the rest. Okay? We have to have full lines of defense. Wash your fucking hands all the time. How that was never a rule before, I don't know. Just wash your hands. If you feel sick, stay the fuck home. If you feel good, do the thing. And workplaces. If you make calling in sick to your workplace an easy process for your employees and they feel supported and they have ways, and whatever those supports look like, I don't have the solutions, but I know you do. If people have to choose between going to work sick or feeding their family, guys, people are still going to spread sickness, whether it's COVID or any other sickness. We got to support our people. Okay, I'm really done. I'm really, really done. I'm not talking anymore. Sue shares Q certain. Is that how I say that? Maybe is another option for just help build that immune system, you guys. Burr shares the best way to be in nature and boost your health is vitamins and tea. Positive thoughts. I know we shoved all the positive thoughts down today, but we'll be back for Thankful Thursday tomorrow morning, my friends. Our Fun Friday guest this week is a beautiful soul. I love this man, and I'm so excited for him to come and have coffee with us on Friday. We're going to pick back up. I rambled a lot. There are a lot of things going on. The world is heavy. We're getting exhausted, but at the end of the day, I just want you to scream fuck at the top of your lungs right now as loud as you can. Just scream it out. Clear your throat chakra. Clear your mind and day. Take it on. Know that just because you are questioning, doubting, concerned, and having a moment, it doesn't mean you're an anti anything. It just means you want to educate yourself, friends. You're allowed to educate yourself and asking questions so that you can make the best choice for you and your family. That matters because you fucking matter. You fucking matter. And I love you so much. Thank you for having coffee. I'm going to go stop being so on fire, and we will talk to you tomorrow morning. Mwah! Have a great day.